I am outside today. I have moved out of my apartment and I'm currently staying at my parents' house while I look for a new apartment in Shikoku. I have been wanting to record this video for a while, but I don't have my old office and my current setup is less than desirable, I guess. The lighting in there is really bad. There's like a blue cast no matter how much lighting I put in there. So I'm going to try to record these videos from my phone outside. So we have like a pretty background, a little bit of background noise. Also, I have to use this little tiny microphone that kind of sucks. So if this is bothersome, if you would prefer me to have a blue cast with a professional microphone, let me know. I'll switch back to that. I'll figure something out. Otherwise, I'm going to record it from my phone. Then I'll have to go through and like manually record my desktop slideshow afterwards and kind of finagle it together. If that makes any sense at all. I don't know if any of you have experience with like editing or whatever, but I'm gonna make it work. Okay, so enjoy my mom's backyard. That's what this is. There's a radio playing, so if you can hear that, I apologize. Anyway, welcome to JLPT in 5, lesson 3. I do have 10 more kanji for you. They are getting progressively more difficult. I will put them up on the screen for you and get rid of my face in case you want to screenshot them. I'm pausing so you can screenshot. These first 5 are a little bit complicated, but remember you can use the radicals to make a story to help you remember all of the pieces that are inside the kanji. For example, if you look at the 4th one here, we have the kanji for behind, back, or later. And if you look at it, it has the radical for like activity. They call it the going man radical. It indicates movement. There's movement, human movement. So human movements, and then there's a short thread followed by late. There are a ton of different ways that you can remember all of these pieces. You can think, okay, so we have a man. He's trying to go to work, but he's got all of these little short threads dangling off of his shirt, and he's got to cut them all off so he looks professional, and it makes him late. He's late for work. He's behind. He will show up to work later. Another example for the exact same kanji, we could say that, okay, we've got our man and he's going to work again, but maybe he ran into one of those spiders from Skyrim and he's been wrapped up in a cocoon and he's got to get out of the cocoon. So he's definitely, most certainly going to be late for work, right? So there's all kinds of fun ways, whatever helps you remember the character, right? If you need help with this, remember the kanji is a good tool for that, but you are much more likely to remember them if you come up with the stories yourself. Your second set of kanji doesn't have any radicals because they themselves are often used as radicals. You're going to see every single one of these so many times. They are contained in so many other kanjis. They're elements. So they're pictograms, sort of. You can find a ton of drawings for them if you like Google them. Go to Google Images, you'll see people have drawn on top of them where they look like what they mean. It's really easy to see this in river and tree. The others you have to get a little bit more creative. I think that the one for earth, ground, looks like a cross sticking out of the ground, like a gravestone. But you're going to see these so often that they're pretty easy to remember. Once again, take a screenshot if you need to. We will review them in the next lesson. Now, I want to take a minute to talk about Jukugo, which are compound kanji. There are a ton of words that are made by combining multiple kanji. Whenever this happens, the second kanji in the word usually gets a dakten if it is able to have a dakten. Remember that not all kana get dakten, but the ones that can have dakten, if they are in the second kanji, they will usually have that dakten. If you look at the example here, you'll see that both of these words actually have the same two kanji. The kanji for fire and the kanji for flower. But they are reversed. Both words also use the same reading for these kanji. Hi for fire and hana for flower. But the word for spark has a dakten on flower because it's the second kanji. So it's not hihana, it's hibana. Hibana, spark. If I flip those characters around and then hi is the second kanji, now it's going to have a dakten instead. So fireworks is not hana-hi, it's hanabi. Hanabi. Fireworks. Now, we have a bunch of new vocabulary words, starting with prepositions. I have 8 prepositions here because these are the 8 prepositions that are on the JLPT. If you're following along with the book, you'll notice that one of the words George uses is missing. That is because the word Ida is an N4 word, not an N5. The prepositions that you're going to need for the N5 are mae, which is in front, ushiro, ushiro, behind, ue, which means on or above or on top of, shita, which means below or under, naka, which means inside, yoko, which means next to or beside, hirari, which means left, and finally, migi, which means right. To help us practice these prepositions in the next lesson, I have a bunch of location words that we can use. First up, we have としょかん, which means library, レストラン, which should be an easy one because it comes from English. It's a restaurant. Then we have えいがかん, which means movie theater or cinema if you're from Britain. こうえん, which means park. がっこう, which is school. こうさてん, which is like an intersection, right? So between like a street, you know, where two roads like cross over each other, right? こうさてん. Next up, we have another English word, デパート, which comes from the English word department. So it's a department store. At the very top, we have 道, which means street or road. And then finally, we have びょういん, which means hospital. Now, looking at this map, there are actually a ton of other words I could have used, but none of them are from the N5. I don't have a vocabulary game today, just because we're going to practice these words a whole lot in the next lesson, because the next lesson is about prepositions. So, we're going to get to all that in due time. For now, just focus on studying them, add them to your flashcard list, get yourself familiar with them, and prepare yourself for the next lesson. Before we go, I have one more thing. I know that kanji is scary. It is. There's a lot of it. But it's very logical. And it works similar to how we use suffixes and prefixes in English. For example, the kanji for kan means building. And if you look at the word としょかん, which means library, it's made of the word 図書, which means books, and then kan, which means building. It is literally a book building. Same exact thing with えいがかん. 映画 means movie, kan means building, and えいがかん is a movie building. I included 2 other words just for examples. First up, we have 美術館, which means art museum. Then we have 水族館, which is an aquarium. Then we have the kanji en, which means park. You can find it in the word 公園, which is park. You can also find it in 動物園, which means zoo. 遊園地 is an amusement park. And finally, enge is a garden. Learning kanji is an amazing thing because it helps unlock new understanding to words that you already know, but maybe you didn't know what the kanji meant. Everything makes so much sense. The more kanji you learn, the more the pieces will fit together, I promise. We are all done for today. Please let me know in the comments how you liked this mic. So far, I'm still getting used to it. I've recorded a few TikToks with it, but not a fan of the sound quality. Maybe I'm holding it wrong. I tried clipping it to my shirt. I feel like that made it a lot worse. I don't know. I think it sounds better when it's like, even though it's supposed to clip to your shirt. That's the whole reason that I bought it. Cheap little microphone. It wasn't cheap. It's a lie. Expensive microphone that doesn't work. Anyway, if you can deal with the sound, if you like the background, you like the lighting, or if you don't care about the lighting, if that doesn't matter to you, and you just want me to use my Yeti microphone that I have in my office, let me know. Or maybe I'll just cut myself out completely. Do you need to see my face? Does that matter to you? I feel like it makes it more personal. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I'm trying to improve, make it better for you. So let me know. I'll see you guys soon. Bye. There's a helicopter in the air, and it is very noisy, and it will not go away. I can still hear the helicopter. Jeez! Is it gone? It's gone enough. Okay, anyway.